Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today we are looking at the summary of chapter 18 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. So Arjuna asks Lord Krishna about the purpose of tyag, renunciation, and sannyas, the renounced order of life. In text 2, Sri Bhagavanu Vacha Kamyanam Karmanam Yasam Sannyasam Kavayo Vidu Sarva Karma Phala Tyagam Rahustyagam Vichakshana. Translation: The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the giving up of activities that are based on material desire is what great learned men call the renounced order of life, sannyas. And giving up the results of all activities is what the wise call renunciation, tyag. So Lord Krishna says that according to some learned men, all kinds of activities should be given up as empty. Yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. Lord Krishna explains that renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of three kinds. Lord Krishna says that acts of sacrifice, charity, penance are not to be given up. They must be performed as they purify even the great souls. All these activities should be performed without attachment or any expectation of result, but they should be performed as a matter of duty. Krishna further explains that prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Anyone who gives up the prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. One should perform all prescribed duties only because they ought to be done. Renunciation of all material association and all attachment to the fruit is said to be in the mode of goodness. So this was the prescribed duties in the three different modes of nature. Text 11. Nahi deha bhrita shakyam yaktum karmanya sheshata yastu karma phala tyagi satyagi vidiyate. Translation: It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities, but he who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. Or Krishna continues to explain that those who are in the renounced order of life does not have to suffer or enjoy the threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, but that those who are not renounced will accrue up to death. Lord Krishna then describes the 5 factors of action which cause a man to perform either right or wrong action through the body, mind, or speech. So these 5 are the place of action, the body, the performer, the various senses, the many different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the soul. Text 16. Tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tuya pashyatya krita buddhitvan nasa pashyati turmati. Translation: Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the 5 factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. Krishna further explains the 3 factors that motivate action: knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower. The 3 constituents of action: the senses, the work, and the doer. According to the 3 different modes of material nature, there are 3 kinds of knowledge, action, and performer of action that Krishna explains. So from text 20 to text 22, we have the understanding of knowledge in the mode of goodness, passion, and darkness. So knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided into innumerable forms, you should understand to be in the mode of goodness. That knowledge by which one sees that in every different body there is a different type of living entity, you should understand to be in the mode of passion. And that knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, without knowledge of the truth, and which is very meager, is said to be in the mode of darkness. Then Krishna explains the different action in the three different modes. Action which is regulated and which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, and without desire for fruitive results is said to be in the mode of goodness. But action performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify his desires and enacted from a sense of false ego is called action in the mode of passion. An action performed in illusion, in disregard of scriptural injunctions, and without concern for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Then the worker in the different modes of nature, one who performs his duty without association with the modes of material nature, without false ego, with great determination and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in the mood of goodness. The worker who is attached to fruit or the fruits of work, the worker who is attached to work and the fruits of work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, and who is greedy, always envious, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow, is said to be in the mode of passion. The worker who is always engaged in work, against the injunctions of the scripture, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert in insulting others, and who is lazy, always morose, procrastinating, is said to be a worker in the mode of ignorance. Well, Krishna then describes understanding, determination, and happiness according to each of the three modes of material nature from text 29 to 39. He then explains how Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are distinguished by their qualities born of their own natures in accordance with the material modes. And one very important verse, Guru Maharaj had a long lecture on that. Text 42 of chapter 18. Shamodamastapa shochan shanti rajamameva cha Jnanam Vijnanam Astikyam Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, religiousness, these are all natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. Yes, Riyansh?
Mataji, can I recite this verse also?
Yes, Riyansh, go on.
Samodamastapasaucham shantirarjavamev cha jnanam vijnanamastikyam brahma karma swabhavajam. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, very good, Riyansh. Thank you. So then Lord Krishna explains how one who is self-controlled and unattached and who disregards all material enjoyments one can obtain by practice of renunciation can attain the highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction. And then he describes how one who has achieved this perfection can attain to the supreme perfection of the stage Brahman, the stage of highest knowledge. And then the important verse, Sarva karmanya pisada kurvano madhya pashraya mad prasadata vapnoti shashwatam padam avyayam. Translation: though engage in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee under my protection, reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. One can thus attain perfection by doing one's own work, not another's, as prescribed duties are never affected by sinful reactions. Thus, one should work as a matter of duty, without attachment or expectation of result. One should never give up one's duty. The highest platform of self-realization is pure devotional service to Krishna. Accordingly, Krishna advises Arjuna to always depend on him, work under his protection, and be conscious of him. If Arjuna refuses to fight for Krishna, he will still be dragged into warfare, as it is his nature as a Kshatriya to fight. Nonetheless, he is free to decide what he wants to do. By Lord Krishna's grace, Arjuna's illusion and doubt vanish, and he chooses to fight according to Lord Krishna's direction. So that's the end of chapter 18, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai.
Yes, well done. Thank you so much. Very well summarized. Very quite a technical chapter as well.
Oh yes,
First
so
half.
many things.
Yeah, the 5 causes of action is quite technical, but yeah, very good. Well done. And then nicely, Lord Krishna explains how to, again, like a roadmap to living in this world, the different types of happiness. I always like to recall that, because in this material world, we used to enjoying our senses immediately. You know, we think of something to eat and we should enjoy it straight away, or we can enjoy it straight away. But that happiness is very temporary, isn't it? Because is considered to be in the mode of passion, which is nectar in the beginning and poison in the end. It's like, how many gulab jamuns can you have? You have one, it's really nice. 2, 3, 4. After a while, you get sick of it. Turns into poison. But in the mode of goodness, that happiness is difficult at the beginning. It's like poison in the beginning, but it turns into nectar at the end. So that describes perhaps the chanting of the holy names. It's difficult in the beginning to focus, why do I have to sit here and meditate or chant for such a long period of time? But in the end, it turns into nectar if we persevere. That happiness turns into nectar. And for the mode of ignorance, it's always been it's crazy in the beginning, it's mad in the middle, it's even worse at the end. It's poison in the beginning, poison at the end. Very interesting. And yeah, any comments, any questions from anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, you are right when you say from the beginning. At the beginning, when we started chanting the holy name, it is quite difficult. Because today it's Ekadashi, we have to chant minimum 25 rounds. But as soon as we start chanting 1, 2, but today I have guessed that they have already chanted some more than 28 rounds.
Very good.
It is nectarian, and I want to chant more. I am on bed. I'm not having the sleep. I just went up and go up and start chanting more. It is very, very nectarian, Prabhu. I like it, and I like it. I'm a devotee, and above all, I am His Holiness Krishna Das Swami, his disciple, and chastisement anytime, anyone, everywhere. So we have got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of Guru Maharaj, and above all Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yeah. The test of good chanting is when you finish, you feel, oh, I want to chant more. That's a good indication that chanting has been good. If you're feeling, oh, thank God, finished my rounds, that's not a good message to send to Krishna. Anybody else? Anything else? I think the other aspect is Varnashram. Krishna explains, like you were saying, Guru Maharaj loved that those qualities described by Krishna in the 42nd verse of Bhagavad of 18th chapter. Peacefulness, self-control. Yeah, thank you. Austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. He would recite this verse. He made us remember this verse by heart. So very powerful. So he expected us to try to imbibe these qualities into our lives. And of course, it's very, very difficult. But anyway, we attempt as best as we can. And then he says that verse again, isn't it? Was it? I forgot that verse name. Manmana Bhava. Says, always remember me, offer your activities unto me.
Prabhuji,
Yes,
Lord
you tell us.
Krishna tells the verse 2 times, for
Yes.
one in the 9th chapter and one in the 18th chapter.
So tell us the slok. Do you remember it?
Prabhuji, from which chapter?
18th. It's almost the
Okay,
same.
Prabhuji. Manmanabhava madbhakto matyaji namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktva atmanam matparayanaha.
Areva. So, and the translation? Do you remember it? Always be my devotee. Always remember me.
Always remember me.
Yeah.
Lord
Offer
Krishna,
your.
offer your homage to me.
Yeah. And in that way, you.
In that way, you can attain my abode.
Yeah, very nice. And then he explains about Sarva Dharma. Do you remember that one?
Yes, Project.
Go on.
Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva bhapebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha.
And do you remember the translation? Abandon all.
Abandon all varieties of religion
And just surrender.
and just surrender to me.
Do not fear.
Do not fear.
I will protect you.
I will deliver you from all the sins.
Sinful reaction. Well done. Well done. Then he, just before that actually, says, Bhaktya Mama Bijanati. You know that one? Bhaktya Mama Bijanati. Yavanyas Jasmi Tatvataho Tato Mam Tatvato Gyatva Vishate Tatanantaram. So Krishna says that only by bhakti am I to be understood. I cannot be understood any other way. No gyan, no karma yoga, no stanga yoga, only by bhakti. And when one understands him through bhakti, one can attain him. It's really powerful. Hence why bhakti yoga is the topmost yoga. And bhakti means we are connected with Krishna by hearing about him, speaking about him, listening about him, or remembering him, all these 9 processes of bhakti. And then Krishna explains something really special for the preachers. Yaidim paramam guyam explains that one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, that person is very dear to Krishna. So when we share this Bhagavad Gita with others, the Lord becomes very pleased. And then the following verse, I think it's 69 of this chapter, he says, there is no servant more dear to me than that person, nor will there ever be one more dear. So sharing this Bhagavad Gita is very important to Krishna. And it's important to him, it's important to us as well. And then Krishna asks him, right, have you been listening? Like the perfect teacher. Have you been listening, Arjun? Have you understood what I've told you? And Arjun, as the perfect student, says, yes, I've been listening. I've understood. I will do your work for you. I will do your work. And then Sanjay concludes the chapter by saying, wherever there's Krishna, wherever there's Arjun, there's morality, great strength, power, etc. And what an amazing end to the Bhagavad Gita. So, thank you so much, Karuna. Anything you'd like to add, Karuna? Yeah, you're muted, huh? Okay.
Okay. It's good that the 3 last chapters you have been given the qualities of the divine person, the demoniac, and then the different kinds of faith, the food that we should be eating, the sacrifices, the charity to be performed. So there's so many things that we need to put into practice, and all these have been narrated by Lord Krishna. It's wonderful.
Yeah, he gives us amazing direction.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Chapter 18 or chapter 1 to 18, I think the message from Lord Krishna is so straightforward, but we human beings make it difficult to acquire the habits, fail to understand, and without Shastras, reading Shastras and Guru's guidance, it becomes difficult.
Very true.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. That's a very good point. Yeah. Yeah, he keeps it really simple. I mean, Bhagavatam is tough. Bhagavad Gita, he's kept it fairly straightforward. Messages and really amazing instructions. But as you said, we're so foolish. Kali Yuga, we just practically ignore Bhagavad Gita. Even if we're studying it, we practically ignore it.
Yeah, it's the human nature, isn't it?
He also says to Arjun that you should act according to your nature. Don't give up. Don't try to acquire somebody else's nature. You're a Kshatriya. Because Arjun wanted to leave everything, go to the forest and meditate. So in the 6th chapter, he explained that this is, if you want to meditate, this is what you have to do. And Arjun said, oh, impossible. So throughout, he's explaining that you're a Kshatriya, you have to pick up your weapons and fight. If you go to the forest, you will beg for some alms from somebody and they won't give you, and you'll pick up your Gandiva in anger. And I will be laughing at you because you will be following your nature. There's no choice. You have to follow your nature. But you can dovetail your nature, follow it in service to me, fight for me. So, and of course, Arjun, in the end, his illusion was gone, doubts were vanished, And he chose to fight according to Krishna's directions. So for us, it means we just have to follow our nature. Our nature is our nature, but try to engage it into Krishna consciousness, service to the Lord, service to his devotees. If we can do that, then we will be happy as well, because we'll be following our nature. We won't be going against our way of thinking, but at the same time, we'll be serving the Lord and hopefully engaging others in that service as well. So very, very important to not necessarily go against our nature, just enhance our learning, enhance our knowledge base, and peacefully serve the Lord as best as we can. We have to make the best of a bad bargain. This body is a bad bargain because there's so many things that come with the body. So we have to tolerate and at the same time, do as much bhakti as we can, whilst we can do it. Ah, yeah, that's it. He explains how the Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudras are distinguished by the qualities born of their own natures in accordance with mature modes. So we can't avoid it. Those qualities are there. They've come from our past samskars. What to do? Our past karmas. So we live with what we have and we utilize it in the service of the Lord as best as we can. Anything else? Anybody else? We can stop there. Otherwise, Nutanji, anything you'd like to share?
I think it was beautifully explained. I think Karunaji did a wonderful summary. Really lovely.
Good summary. Okay, thank you. Okay, Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Well done. Another surprise. Yeah, I think we've done it a few times now, isn't it? So it's been really good. Good. So we're back on the Bhagavatam trail. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow is the appearance of a few devotees, but from Saturday onwards, we'll start where we left off, 10th canto, I think 41st chapter. So, Hare Krishna.